Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time for the three things we learned. It's time for the match review, and the positivity just keeps going and going and going. I'm just getting chuffed doing these nowadays. What a comparison to a month ago. In fact, there's no point in me stretching away back to last season. You know, it hasn't been the best of starts to the campaign we're currently in, but now things are well and truly cooking with gas. And Ange Ball is in full swing. I've been saying to myself, look, let's keep it one game at a time, and I still am. I was keeping it one game at a time after St Johnstone. I'm going to keep it one game at a time after Hibs, but there is absolutely no denying at the moment that watching Celtic is getting better and better week on week. And it's just a joy to watch. I'm happy, I'm going to remain happy, and I'm going to present myself as being happy in these match reviews. Now, if you'll notice once more, here we are in the surroundings of the old gaff. I decided once again I want to watch the game with my dad, I wanted to watch with Stevie. So I decided, yeah, let's get down here and do the match review in the funny conditions of the old room. But you know what? We're here to talk about the game, and let's do that. Now, I just put up a tweet on Twitter there, and if you told me even less than a month ago that against Aberdeen, against Motherwell, against Hibs, all away from home, would walk away with 9 points, I would have struggled to believe you. And I think even the most optimistic of Celtic fans would have struggled to believe you. If you told me as well, beside that, would take a win against Ferencvaros convincingly, and a win against St Johnstone as well in the league, and you were to win 5 on the bounce, I still wouldn't have believed you. I would have believed you even less, in fact. But we've done that. An absolute credit to our team, a credit to our manager. We've came back from this international break, and I remember fondly, Ange saying, after I can't remember what game it was after exactly, but I remember Ange saying, like, it's a funny lot up here because he's called the title after 7 games. Tonight, just along with the last 4 performances in all competitions, has been a title statement from Celtic. This Celtic side is ready to challenge for a league title in my eyes. We might not win the league title. Christ, the expectation wasn't to win the league title this season. The expectation was to get back to a level where we compete. Well, the gap has closed once again tonight, and from a lot of different aspects of tonight's performance, that is a title competing side right there. And I am buzzing to watch as we grow as a team and we head into the next few fixtures. As I said, a game at a time. I'm not going to do a McGinley and look ahead to January 2nd. I'm not going to look ahead to anything else. A game at a time, but I am buzzing to watch it as the team grows. Obviously, tricky circumstances to watch Celtic tonight with it not being televised once again on Sky Sports. But we managed to get there in the end. Me and old Stevie, we managed to get the game on. We managed to see the vast majority of it through illegal streams and through dodgy adverts and through everything else. We got there. And yeah, I was absolutely delighted with what I seen today. So let's do this in the fashion we always do. Let's go right back to the start and go through the 90 minutes, then I'll come on to the 3 things that we learned. It was, as Stephen Craigan put at a point in the game, a tale of 2 halves, because I do believe that Hibs deserve a great deal of credit for their second half performance. They made life difficult for Celtic, especially what was a thunderous, controlling first half from Celtic. First half we were brilliant, so let's go back to there. We were absolutely outstanding. It was one of the best 45 minutes of football I've seen, especially from an entertainment point of view. Look, if you were looking for entertainment tonight in any game of football, then you had to look no further than Easter Road. Celtic were electric. Some of the passing, some of the movement, and just overall some of the team football we were playing tonight was just superb. Team football, of course it's team football, we're not playing fucking 1.5, but it was just brilliant. The flow, everything was just beautiful to watch, right from the first kick of the ball. And the team selection was interesting as well, because obviously we've seen Mikey Johnson come back into the starting 11 for the first time in 9 months, I think they said, his first start. And we were just lovely from back to front. We once again controlled the game, we controlled the tempo, and we just made our mark straight away. Easter Road, right? We've not even touched on this so far, right? In this video, Easter Road, we haven't won in the league in Easter Road until tonight since 2014. Tonight, you'd think that we have strolled it every time we go because it looked too easy in the first 45 minutes. You know, this was an interesting point that I realised during the game. We've went there so many times with great teams under Brendan Rodgers, under Neil Lennon as well, of course, with some great players. Tonight, we went there with players who were playing there for the first time. Carl Starfelt, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Josip Juranovic, guys like that, Joe Hart, at the back especially. guys like Kyogo as well, and Jota, guys that were playing there for the very first time in a Celtic shirt tonight, and they strolled it. It looked as though they were naturals and they never worried. We've went there with quality teams and we've struggled against Hibs. And granted, Hibs were incredibly poor in the first half. I think any Hibs fan will tell you that. But they looked so comfortable tonight. There was no scenes of pressure. There was nothing too out there. And it just looked natural with everything they'd done, as I said, from back to front, controlling the game. I bigged up how important the likes of McGregor would be in this game. But the midfield did grab my attention. It wasn't quite McGregor. It was Tom Rogic that grabbed my attention that first half. And he was patrolling the game with a cigar and slippers on. Rogic has been someone we've questioned a little bit over the past little while, but over the last 2-3 games, Rogic has really came back into some form alongside David Turnbull, and we'll come on to that in the 3 things we've learned. But we strolled it, and I know we conceded eventually in that first half from a set piece. Surprise, surprise, that's the Celtic way. But there was just a real domination. They asserted a real dominance in that first half, Celtic, and it was a joy to watch. And the 3 goals were superb as well. Brilliant. Cameron Carter-Vickers' second one is probably the one that least deserves to be talked about. But the other 2 goals I thought were absolutely superb. The build and the play from Celtic leading to it. It's everything that we know Ange Ball can be about. The big question about the first half is how we didn't get more. It could have been 5, 6, maybe even 7 goals for Celtic in that first half. We were that good. And you're going into half-time, and I said this to Ryan McGinley, Emile McGinley at half-time. McGinley said to me, we've been absolutely superb, but I'm still worried because you know what we're like. And I said to McGinley, and maybe he was the one that was right because Hibs had a second half, but I said to McGinley, there was just this feeling in my gut at half-time. There was just this feeling that you get when you know Celtic aren't going to fuck it up. They're not going to lose the game. That was the feeling I had at half-time. It comes every now and then. It's very rare nowadays, but I had that at half-time. There was just a real dominance of Celtic that got through to me, and I was like, we are going to win this. No matter if we score or not in the second half, we are going to win this. And we did go on to win it. Second half, Hibs came out, done very well, but there was a real resilience about Celtic. I think we've seen a lot of standout defensive performances. Tony Ralston just keeps scoring, doesn't he? This is another point I wanted to bring up. Our defence, right? We've slaughtered it as Celtic fans, but we've seen media, we've seen opposition, we've seen a lot of people slaughter the Celtic defence. Ralston, Arsfeld, it was getting called by some fans, all the rest of it. Celtic have the joint best defensive record in the league at the moment, I believe. Maybe even the best at this point. I need to check that up, but they're up there with Dundee United. And 2 of their centre-halves, 2 of their defenders scored today as well. It can't be that bad, the back line. It can't be that bad. If 2 of the players are scoring and they've got the best defensive record in the league. It's quite good to me, I think. Obviously that's subject to change. There's a long way to go in this season, but I think people have been quick to jump on top of players, and I was guilty of doing it. We all have been guilty of doing it. We all judged the likes of Ralston tonight. Brilliant. Second half, a real resilient performance, and Hibs kept knocking at the door, but we could deal with it, and we showed we could deal with it, and deal with it with a confidence. So from start to finish today, from 0 to 90, yes, I would have liked more goals and built on that first half performance, but it's about getting the win. It's about walking away with the 3 points, and that's exactly what Celtic did tonight, and we keep rolling, as Limp Bizkit would say. Christ, I've managed to fit a fucking Limp Bizkit quote in. Lovely. Right, let's go into the 3 things we've learned. First thing, Joe Hart, he genuinely could turn out to be signing of the season. I think there is a real sort of reasoning behind it now that you could give, and there's a real sort of argument there to say that by the end of this season he could be. Once again, we've got such a long way to go and things can change, and we've spoke up how good Kyogo's been and how good Jota's been, how good Carter-Vickers and Starfelt been. We've talked this up, but Joe Hart is providing save after save after save at massive points in the game. That first save today, that first big save, we're up 1-0. That makes it 1-0. If anybody else is in the goals that's in our squad, they've been 1-0. And then, heads started the drop, and, the same old story from last season, when we just didn't have big saves. He made another fantastic save, I think it was around the 75th minute in the second half, and once again, if Hibs score that, they're 1 goal behind with 15 to play, the tone and the pace of the game changes and it becomes harder for Celtic to handle. But Joe Hart, and time again this season, has came up with big saves. he could end up ending this season as signing the season. I think he's an out there shout. Second thing that I think we learned from today is that midfield is getting better at working together. We've banged on about how Turnbull and Rogic can't play together. Maybe not you necessarily, you watching right there, you might not agree, but there was a big majority of us Celtic fans, including myself, that didn't think Rogic and Turnbull can play together, and I still hold scepticism behind it, and I still have my reservations, because I do believe that it can be better, but they are certainly improving, and today was another performance, I think, from both of them that show that it can work at times. Now, is it limited how much it works? That's another question. I think that's a video in itself, but those two today, once again, showed a great working relationship. They're starting to figure it out a little bit better, but I think it is so reliant on having McGregor in there behind them and having him to kind of hold it together. But they are certainly getting better, and Rogic, as I've already touched on, was absolutely superb. Hopefully, him going off the park is purely just making sure he's okay, and it's nothing serious. And the third thing we've learned, I don't really have one. Ange ball, baby. It's beautiful. That'll do, eh? I think that's a nice way to wrap it up as we close the gap on this league table, and I think we head into second. I need to double check on it, but I think we do. Lovely. Right, like and subscribe. See y'all next time.